Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari. Jasura Nandana Rajajana Ranjana. Jasura Nandana Rajajana Ranjana. Jamunati Ramanujacharya. Jamunati Ramanujacharya. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari. Jasura Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamunati Ramanujacharya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Padiba Jakacharya Asatita Shisham and his divine grace. Acharan Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Ki. ISKCON BBT founder Charya Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koda Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Namchar Shil Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Shikoho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gogo Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Giru Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Mathura Dham Ki. Dwarka Dham Ki. Navadip Dham Ki. Jagannathpuri Dham Ki. Jamuna Mai Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Tulsi Maharani Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Sambhita Bhakta Vrinda Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the divine lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Now, we're going to end a little bit early today because I have to get back to my office. Of course, we don't know what time it is because this clock doesn't stay on, so we're sailing in darkness. I'm going to get I'll order on Amazon a new clock today, so nobody else needs to do it. I'll do it today. But otherwise, we're flying blind. So, Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvasesha Sunyavari Paskacha Desatarani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, last week, with all the flurry of festivals, Ramanujacharya's appearance day came and went. So I thought that I would reach back a few days and read a little something, present something about Ramanujacharya. Okay, so how do we get clear instruction? That which is inconceivable, how do we conceive it? When we are finite, how do we understand the infinite? When all we have are means of ascending knowledge, how do we find infallible descending knowledge other than Dravida Prabhu? Who knows? I hope some of you know. I hope there's a big hint right there in front of you. Anyone want to say? Other than Dravida? Yes, tapas. We hear via disciplic succession, tadvidi panipatena pariprashnena sevaya. We hear from our spiritual master, who heard from his spiritual master, ultimately, tene brahma hridaya adikavaye, at least in our case. It goes all the way back to Lord Brahma, the original living being, and he is instructed by Krishna within the heart. Okay? Is that the only bona fide sampradaya? And for extra points, who can name some of the other sampradayas? We're in the Brahma, Madhava, Gaudiya sampradaya. Dravida Prabhu. Just bringing you back to life. Anyone know what are some of the other sampradayas? What's one? The Lakshmi Sampradaya. Guess who it's coming from? Sri Lakshmi Devi. Okay, that's 2. Brahma, Lakshmi. What's another one? Kumara Sampradaya. What's another one? The Rudra Sampradaya. And Rudra Sampradaya means Lord Shiva. They're literally, you know the hugging Ma? What was her name? Amma. Amma means mother, right? So Amma Mataji, mother. So she was a double mother. You know how she learned the absolute truth? I swear to you. She fell off a donkey, banged her head when she was a kid, and realized that she was Vishnu, Krishna. You believe that? So my point is that there are ways that transcend that. When Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the light, does that mean we should give up Bhagavatam, give up Bhagavad Gita, and simply study the New Testament? Does it mean that? And tell me why not. Tujamani, do we give up the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita because Jesus said he's the way, the truth, and the light, and no man goes through the heaven without me? Do we accept that? I say it's an oxymoron. Ram.
He came for a certain group of people, a certain time.
Yes, but if I ask you, how do I get to Los Angeles? You tell me, I jump on the I-5 and I head north. If I ask Govardhan Prabhu, how do I get to Los Angeles? What does he tell me? Head south till they speak Spanish? What does he say? He says, head north, jump on I-5. I asked Trijamani, how do I get to LA? He tells me, jump on I-5 and head north. So they're all giving the same message. So each one of, that's the only way you're going to get there. If I head east out 8, good luck. Right? If I go that way, I got to swim. If I go west. So the only way to get to LA is to head north. And anyone who tells me how to do that is the way, the truth, and the light. So there's no contradiction. Yes, we accept Jesus is the only way and the truth and the light. And what did he say? A, B, C, D. And you get, that's how you do it. And it's the same method for everybody. I mean, you were right on one hand, Ram. They speak according to time, place, and circumstance. So Ramanujacharya comes in the Sri Sampradaya of the 4 bona fide Sampradayas. Okay, and he appeared in 1017, which is what? Over 1,000 years ago. And he lived for 120 years. Next. Of course, do we have a watch? I don't want to fly completely blind.
I can move it closer.
Yeah, why don't you put it right here? It doesn't light up. Govardhan will do it. Thanks, Govardhan. Put it right here. Okay, now we're set. So what happens if I take a stick? This one's for Sankarshan. If I take a piece of bamboo and I bend it quickly, what happens? It'll break. If I bend it slowly, what happens? You know what rattan furniture? Very good. You know what rattan furniture is? Made from bamboo. And it's bent in all different ways. So if I bend slowly, it will bend, correct? Can I walk in to a physics class at Caltech, look at they have those blackboards that slide out one behind the other? So they slide out all the blackboards, and if I say, well, I don't understand, does that mean the physics class at Caltech is bogus? What will the professor ask me? other than how did you get in here? What will he ask me? Did you take Algebra 1? Did you take Algebra 2? Did you take trigonometry? No, no. Did you take math calculus? No, no. Well, of course you don't understand. It's a progressive stages of knowledge. So we had Lord Buddha. What was Lord Buddha's mission? This is what Ram's point about teaching according to time, place, and circumstance. What was the business of Lord Buddha? His prime mission, other than Dravida? Huh? What's that? Ahimsa. Okay, yeah. But what does that mean? Stop the animal killing. They were saying they were misusing the Vedas as a rationale because there is horse sacrifice, cow sacrifice, and you take an old animal who's struggling and suffering, and if you chant the mantras properly, and it's the way of confirming, then the animal comes out in a new, fresh body. So it's a benefit for the animal, and the animal's not killed. Of course, the soul's never killed. That's another thing. But so Lord Buddha said, okay, but wait. He said, stop killing animals. They said, but it's in the Vedas. So what did he say? Forget the Vedas. Don't listen to the Vedas. Prabhupada said that Lord Buddha is an example of God's potency as a cheater. Krishna says, of gamblers, I'm the cheat in Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Krishna, as Lord Buddha, says, don't forget the Vedas, don't worship God. Just worship me. Of course, he's God. If A equals B and B equals C, A equals C. So it's actually his transcendental cheating. Forget worshiping God, but just do what I say. Forget the Vedas, just do what I say. But of course, what he was, Vedascha sarver aham eva vedyo, Vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. That he's the very source and the knower of the Vedas. So you've got Lord Buddha, and at least he gets them to stop killing animals and using the Vedas as a rationale. And he gets them to follow ahimsa, morality, you know, this eightfold, what is the eight? Was it eight noble truths? I forget exactly how it works, but, you know, right activity, right thought, right this, all that. So he gets them to be moralistic and to stop killing animals. That's like bending your bamboo. He's bent them a little bit, okay? Then what happens? You've got Sankaracharya. And what does Sankaracharya accomplish? He again establishes the Vedas. He and his followers actually chased Buddhism out of India because people used to have some honor. And if I'm in a debate and I'm defeated by the other party, what am I actually supposed to do? If I'm honestly trying to find the truth and follow the truth, and someone presents a better understanding of the truth than me, what am I supposed to do? Surrender. Yeah, I give up my belief and I follow that better understanding, fuller understanding of the truth. Now they just argue till hell freezes over and no one agrees to anything. And you have, what do they call it? Oh, I was thinking, what do they call it? Alternative facts. Alternative truth. Well, you know. So, Sankaracharya and his followers chased, that's why you don't find much Buddhism in India. Very little. They're all in Tibet or China or, you know, the rest of Southeast. They were all chased out by Sankaracharya. And what was the cornerstone? Two things we can say about Sankaracharya. The first thing I already said just a few minutes ago. What did Sankaracharya? Buddha gets them to stop being butchers and at least be moral. Okay, now you got to get to the next step. Sankaracharya taught them, other than Dravida, Sankaracharya taught them, and thank you for raising your hand. Sankaracharya taught them. Who said that? Ram. Okay, now you got to sit out for a few rounds. He taught them to accept the Vedas. Okay, but to get them to accept the Vedas, and he also accepted there's A and B. There's two sides. There's Sat, and what's the other thing? Asat. There's that which is permanent and that which is temporary. He got them to accept that there was a spiritual reality, a spiritual eternal dimension. Now, he couldn't bend them too far. Doesn't have a form, doesn't have, we all become one. But there is a spiritual, there's Brahman. There's, what is it? Brahman, Satya, Jagan Mitra, that this material world is false and there's a spiritual world. Okay, so he bent them a little further. Then you've got Ramanuja. Ultimately, it goes all the way to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Ramanujacharya came along as a personalist. And we'll talk about that. So here's what Sankaracharya, moving them, humankind, moving them forward, preparing them for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Achinta Beda Beda Tattva. Next. So this is the temple right here, built by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in Mayapur. And this temple, if you'll see, it's a little hard to see, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 sides to it. And under the central dome is Sri Sri, what is his name he called him? Radha Giridhari, Gandharvika Giridhari. Gandharvika, which Radharani, the heavenly singer, best of singers, and Giridhari, the lifter of Govardhan Hill. So what he has under each one of these smaller shikars, or domes or spires, there's each of the 4 acharyas. And each of them taught a little something further to bring people to the point of understanding pure bhakti, pure love for Sri Sri Radha Giridhari, as manifest by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is taught by Mahaprabhu. So underneath this, so just like people, so they say, were illiterate in the Middle Ages, in the medieval times, but so they learned the stories and principles of the Bible and the prophets in stained glass windows. They didn't have to read, although good if they did, but if they didn't know how to read, they learned by, their parents explained the story, priests explained the story, and they saw the picture. So in the same way, one of the methods of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was he built this temple, showing that all the Acharya's teachings culminate in the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Achinta Beda Beda Tattva, which is pure Krishna Bhakti, conjugal love, moving up to that through 5 rasas. So that's just by this temple, people could understand that. So that's Srila Bhakti, and all the 4 sampradayas culminate in Achinta Beda Beda Tattva. Now, what does Achinta Beda Beda Tattva mean? Dravida. Inconceivably, simultaneously, one and different. Okay, and how did we get there? Next. Now, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, in his Navadip Mahatmya, when Jiva Goswami takes Lord Nityananda around Mayapur, he explains how each of the acharyas, the 4, okay, so you've got 4 sampradayas. You've got the Brahma Sampradaya, and who's the most recent powerful proponent? We say the Brahma blank Sampradaya? Madhva. Okay, coming from Lord Brahma. Now, Who's in the Sri Sampradaya? We've already established that. That is Ramanujacharya. Now, what are the other two Sampradayas? The Rudra, and what's the other one? Kumara. So who is it who comes in the Rudra Sampradaya? Who is the most recent? Nimbarkacharya. Okay? So now we've got, okay, and then who's the fourth? Is the, from the Kumara Sampradaya, you have Vishnu Swami. So you've got Brahma, Madhva, you've got 4 Kumaras, you've got Vishnu. No, you've got Shiva. Just checking if you're listening. You've got the Kumara Sampradaya, you've got Vishnu Swami, and in the Sri Sampradaya, Lakshmi, you've got Ramanujacharya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took 2 points from each of these 4 recent, if you look at Vedic time, Brahma, from Ramanuja, from Vishnu Swami, and from Nimbarkacharya. So from Ramanujacharya, he took 2 things, according to Bhakti Vinod Thakur. The concept of devotional service, unpolluted by karma or jnana, that you need knowledge. Of course, it comes automatically. The full knowledge comes. You can't have bhakti, genuine bhakti, unless you have knowledge and renunciation. But it is no precursor that required that you have to know all the Vedas and you have to, like that. And the other thing is, it's not by your activities, like the Calvinists in Christianity. If you act properly, they're not mimamsa. You act properly and you get to go to heaven. It's a mechanical process. So, but pure bhakti is free from karma, free from jnana. And what is the other thing that we get from that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took from Ramanujacharya? Pure devotional service, a devotional service to the devotees. Krishna himself says, one who claims to be my devotee is not my devotee. What? How does that work, Matthias? One who claims to be my devotee, one who is saying, I'm Krishna's bhakta, he's not actually a devotee. How do you know who a devotee is? Tapas. One who serves Krishna's devotee. So Krishna himself says, one who claims to be my devotee is not my devotee. One who is a devotee of my devotee, he's my devotee, he or she is my devotee. So service to the devotees and the concept of devotional service, unpolluted by karma and jnana. Those come into our Achinta Beta Beta Tattva, into Mahaprabhu's teachings by Sri Ramanujacharya. Next. And just for fun, this is a picture of those deities, Gandharvika Giridhari, who were the first deities installed by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And who do you see standing next to them? Mahaprabhu. Why is Mahaprabhu? Because he is Radha and Krishna combined, and delivering a Chinta Beta Beta Tattva, which is the culmination, the aggregation of all the 4 different acharyas, what their teachings were. And we'll see next. Now, Ramanujacharya taught Vashishta Advaita, a Chinta Beta Beta Tattva. So this is a flavor of that. Like, what are 4 things? If you want to put all of it together, you got to have grains, butter, water, and sugar, right? You got to have 4 things to get it. So to get a Chinta Beta Beta Tattva, you've got to have 4 elements. One of those elements that are supportive, that are the ingredients, that culminate, just like those things you combine together and you get halava. If you leave out the sugar, which a devotee did one time, use salt instead of sugar, how's that going to turn out? It's not halava. Suppose you say, well, I'm not going to use butter. I'm going to use veg oil. I'll use coconut oil. And it becomes upma, maybe. Throw in some veggies. So, so what is an example of, what does that mean? Vishishta Dvaita, qualified oneness. Well, oneness, qualified, what does that mean? And there's an example to give you a hint. I don't know if you can see, I need glasses. So this is a tree, and what's in the tree? Did I call on you, Dravida? You got to give some other people a chance, man. Oh, you'd be surprised. It's called kinetic learning. If you don't ask people, they don't remember. So there's a green bird in a green tree. When you see the green bird fly into the green tree, you lose the individuality, the ability to see. You don't actually lose the individuality. You lose the ability to see. It looks like the bird has merged into the tree. But has the bird become one with the tree? No, he's an individual. So this is one of the verses, cornerstone verses, taught by Ramanujacharya. And it's Nitya Nitanam, Chaitanas Chaitananam, Eko Bahunam, Yovadadati Kaman. Now, I think it's from Padma Purana originally, but I'm not sure about that one. No? No, anyway, it'll... Yeah, that's where it's from. It's from the Upanishads. Okay, so Nitya Nitanam, Chaitanas Chaitananam, Eko Bahunam, Yovadadati Kaman. Who knows what that means other than Dravida? Give somebody else a chance. Who else knows? Eko Bahunam, Yovadadati Kaman. Balaram. Good to see you. What does Nitya Nitanam, Chaitanas Chaitananam mean? Eko Bahunam Yovadadati Kaman.
Means that there is one eternal that is supporting or providing for.
Yeah, it means that we're all eternal. Nitya Nitanam, Chaitanas Chaitananam. Okay, we're all eternal. That's oneness. Okay, we're all one. Yes, we're all one, but it's qualified. What does it mean, qualified? Eko Bahunam Yovadadati Kaman. It means that there's one chief eternal who's maintaining all the others. Yes, it's all one. We're all spirit soul, but we're all dependent on the Supreme, the Eko, the One. Janmadasa Yataha. Everything emanates, everything aham sarvasya pravaho. Everything rests on, everything is flowing from, everything is depending on that one Krishna. Krishna's eternal, we're eternal. But he is independent, we are dependent. He is the enjoyer, we're the enjoyed. He's Prakriti, he's Purush, we're Prakriti. So that's Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, qualified oneness, comes from Ramanujacharya in the Sri Sampradaya. Next. Now, is this world unreal? We say this world is illusion. This is the example given by Ramanujacharya. These are abalone shells. So they look like silver. Doesn't that look like silver? I had to work hard to find this picture, trust me. They look like silver. Now, is an abalone shell, the inside of a shell, is that the same as silver? Is it? Help me out. Anybody home? No, it's definitely not. But it looks like silver. So we could say, when we address the inside of the shell, how it looks like silver, but it's not silver. So thinking that it's silver is an illusion, right? Are we incorrect in that statement? No, we're not incorrect. Now, another example, anybody ever been driving out to Tucson or Phoenix or on a hot day? when it's a little humid? What do you often see on the road in front of you? Better hit the brakes because you're about to hit. Anybody know? Kirat Haripriya. You're going to hit a mirage. It looks like water. Is there any water there? No. So it's an illusion. So the shell looks like silver, or looks like there's water there, but there isn't. So does it mean that water is unreal? Does it mean that silver is unreal?
No.
No, you say no. Defend your answer, young man.
There's two different.
It means that there's real silver and there's the appearance of silver. Just because the water in the mirage is false doesn't mean that there's no water. It means you're just not looking in the right place. The fact that the mirage or the silver is an illusion doesn't mean that there's no such thing as silver, doesn't mean there's no water. So this is a very important distinction. That, okay, I have a false ego, but what do I also have? Ching ching dravida.
Real ego.
I have a real ego. This material world is temporary. It's not false, it's temporary. Like seasonal. Flowers come, then the trees dry up, and it goes, it's manifest and unmanifest. But it's temporary, and in that way it can be called unreal. So, therefore, what is the point that Ramanujacharya is trying to make? It's all one from Sankaracharya. We all merge. I am you and you are me and we are all the Eggman, or whatever it is. You roll everything into a big ball and that's God. What? So do we accept that? What is the point Ramanujacharya is trying to make? So he can get rid of Sankaracharya, who says everything is one. Anybody know other than Dravida? Trijamani. What's the point he's trying to make? Yeah, it means that there's a spiritual world. There's a kingdom of God. Next. Why does the shadow have 5 fingers? Trijamani. There is a tailor in Vrindavan. I don't know if he's still alive, but he has 6 fingers. It's true. I've seen him. So I guess he's got an edge over the other tailors. I don't know. He can work a little faster. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But the shadow of his hand would have how many fingers?
6 fingers.
It would have 6 fingers. So why does the shadow of the hand have 5 fingers? The original hand has 5 fingers. And why does it, what's that got to do with me? I got 5 fingers, I can count. What's it got to do with me? What's the point being made? There's a kingdom of God. There's a spiritual world. This is a shadow. The shadow has no substance. What's the verse in Bhagavad Gita? And I'm going to ask Dravida this one, because otherwise he'll blow a gear. What's the example given in Bhagavad Gita about the tree? Anyone know? Dravida. Yeah, the tree is upside down. Where do you find an upside down tree? By the river. River, lake, work with me. It's the reflection. You see the reflection. Now, suppose I see I'm looking in the lake or in the river, and I see, actually it would be better in a lake, admittedly, because it's stable. So I see, Krishna is the best of examples. So I'm looking in the lake, and I see a nice ripe mango. Matthias, he thinks a nice mango for Giridhari. And he jumps in the lake reaches in the lake to get the mango. What happens? There's nothing there. He's wet and empty-handed. But does that mean there's no such thing as a mango? No, you're just looking in the wrong place. So similarly, the point that Sankaracharya, getting us from moralistic Buddhas, gets us back onto the Vedas, gets us back onto this spiritual dimension. But it's all one. Ramanujacharya is saying, no, it's qualified oneness. It's like the bird in the green tree. It's like the shell that looks like silver. And it's the reflection in the water. It's the shadow in the hand. There is a spiritual reality with variegatedness. Do you think that's an important point to understand? What do you think? Otherwise, what the hell are we doing here? You know? I want to go back home, back to Godhead. So that's the point being made. Next. So we're indebted to Ramanujacharya. Another point that Ramanujacharya makes. Do we have any experience of a machine working without an operator behind it? Even you've got AI, artificial intelligence. It's got to have a programmer. It's got to somebody who, what do they say? When all else fails, make sure your computer's plugged in. That's a good place to start, right? Is the on, did you turn it on? Oh, gee, didn't think about that. Who needs to turn on your computer? You do. Does it happen by osmosis? Just leave it out in the sun long enough and it's a solar computer, it'll turn on? You got to have a person. So he makes the point that behind the creation, there's a creator. So that's another point. We're indebted to Ramanujacharya and his understanding of Vishishta Advaita, qualified oneness. Next. Now, just for fun, this is the seat, the headquarters of Ramanujacharya. This is in Sri Rangam, and we'll take a few pictures. This is just like they have, you know, VIP entrances. Ooh, look at the time. They have VIP entrances, and they have, you know, for the, you know, if you premier seating, and then you got discount seating, and you got different entrances into the stadium. To the higher planets, and into the, what to speak of the holy tirthas, these spiritual places in the material world, there's different doors. So all of these are different doors for the different devas to go through. Next. Now this is Sri Rangam, started by Ramanujacharya, or the headquarters of Ramanujacharya, actually. It's an island in the middle of a river. It's a fantastic, in the middle of the Kaveri River, which is a clean, at least when I was there, clean, warm water. It's a beautiful river, really nice. You can just cup and drink, at least when I was there. So here's one side of the river, here's the island, and there's 7 walls around it. The first wall was built by Lord Brahma. Druta Karma says if he ever gets money, he's going to get an archaeological team, because they've got the foundation of the original wall is there. He wants to carbon date it, you know, to confirm how old. So this is the main Gopuram, and then you go through all of these, and then in here is the inner sanctum. But we've got some closer pictures. Next. This is the inner sanctum. This is not gold leaf or gold paint. This is hammered sheets of gold. A sheet of gold hammered to fit around the stone carved. So that's where the deity is. And here's the progressive Gopurams going back and back. There's 7 Gopurams, 7 concentric walls around the deity. Next. Now this is just to give you an idea how tall, because from that angle you can't really see how big it is. This is the main Gopuram. These are the other Gopurams. These are you know, 3-story, 4-story, 5-story buildings. So you see how massive that thing is? Oh, we built a skyscraper in New York, and they're so impressed. Thousands of years ago, this is a spiritual skyscraper. Not that they didn't know how to do it. They didn't do it for their own house or for the working hard like a donkey. They did it for the glorification of Krishna. Then they'd build something nice. Next. So this is Sri Rangam. This is the deity. And we'll talk a little more. Ranganath. He's lying down. These are the Utsav deities. This is his consorts, Bu and Shri. More about that in a second. But this is the festival deity they take out on the parikrams, and this is the deity himself. He's lying down. He's Lord Narayan, lying down. Vishnu, next. So here's the story. This deity was given to Vibhishana by Lord Ram. When Lord Ram asked Vibhishana, the brother of Ravan, that after Ravan was killed, he told Vibhishana, you go back and take care of the kingdom now. That's your duty. And he didn't want to leave Lord Ram. He said, I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to leave you. So Lord Ram manifests Sri Ranganath and said, you take this deity with me. Here is Ramanujacharya. This is, thank you. This is Vibhishana getting ready to leave Lord Ram. And then this is Lord Ram giving him the deity. And here he is flying back with that beautiful deity you saw, and he was flying back to Lanka. But when he got over Sri Rangam, not unlike, was it Augusta? Pulasta Muni, when he was flying with Govardhan Hill, and he put it down in Vrindavan, and the deal was, wherever you put me down, I'm not moving. So in the same way, he put the deity down as he was flying towards Lanka. He put the deity down, but in Sri Rangam. But the deity didn't want to move. So what to do? Next. So as he was, that I say, so to make it quick, this is the beautiful deity lying down again. This is the Utsav deity, the festival deity. But if you notice, the deity is looking to the right, because the deity, Lord Vishnu, the deity promised, he said, I'm not moving, this is where I want to be, but I'll always be looking towards you, giving my blessings to you and your devotees. So he's looking, the deity, Vishnu, Sri Ranganath, is looking south towards Vibhishana in Lanka. Next. Krishna is a Bhaktivatsal. What does Bhaktivatsal mean? Dravida. He leans favorably towards his devotees. He's favorable. When Prabhupada saw the deities in Detroit, Radha Kunja Bihari, Kunja Bihari is really bending over. He looks like he's going to put his head on Radharani's shoulder. Prabhupada walked into the temple, saw the deities, he said, Bhaktivatsal, leaning favorably towards his devotees. So he's always looking, Sri Ranganath is always looking towards Lanka and his devotee Vibhishana, giving him his blessings. Next. So this is the consorts, like you've got Radha and Krishna. In South India, worshipping Vishnu, they've got Bu and Shri, the different potencies of the Lord. And in Mahaprabhu's Leela, they come again as Vishnu Priya and Lakshmi Priya, are Bu and Shri, who are worshipped as the consorts of Lord Vishnu, Narayan. Next. These are the simples of the Sri Sampradaya. I've got a better picture. I'm going to replace it. But you see here, this is the chakra, this is the conch, this is Hanuman, and this is Garuda. Now, what is the special feature of Garuda and Hanuman's pose? Anyone want to guess, other than Dravida? Mood of service. Why are you saying that? What you probably can't see is they're bending on one knee. Why are they on one knee? That would have been the better question to ask. Why is our Garuda on one knee? They're ready for action. They're waiting for the order of the Lord. They're saying, okay, You know, I'm ready. I'm not going to sit comfortably and be caught off guard. So that utsaha, that eagerness to fulfill the order of the Lord, that's embodied in Garuda and Hanuman. Next. Now this is the Samadhi. It's a huge complex, as you saw, the temple at Sri Rangam. And, you know, there's all kinds of things. So this is the Murti, this is the actual Vapu of Ramanujacharya. And it's coated with all kinds of, almost mummified. It's different types of oil, and there's so many stories. His hands were gripped, and there's a reason why he opened his hand. That's for some other time. But this is his Samadhi. Next. This is their cart festival. You see this? This is a South Indian style, like a Jagannath cart, different areas, different culture, different sampradayas. They have different styles of festival carts. So this is one of the many, many cart festivals in Sri Rangam. It's an amazing place. Next. Now, these are the imprints of Mahaprabhu's feet, because Mahaprabhu visited Sri Rangam. It's actually described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He took the 4 months of the Chaturmasya, the rainy season, and stayed in Sri Rangam. So to commemorate, the Lord, it says here, visits the place in the year, and it's even got the year, and stayed for 4 months. So that plaque was installed by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur at Sri Rangam. Next. Now, this is the house of Venkatabhatta, and you can read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there was a whole debate. Does anyone know? Let's see how well we do. So this is where it's only 500 years ago. This is where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed for 4 months in Sri Rangam, and in the house of Venkatabhatta, who was a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. And how did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu convince him that the worship of Radha, of course it's absolute, it's whether you worship Lord Varaha or whether you worship, you know, Krishna or Ram, or, you know, we have our own moods and flavors of worshiping the Supreme Lord. So, before I say it, because his picture's there, Venkatabhatta's son was out of the 6 Goswamis, Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami, the worshipper of Radhika Ramana, the deity in Vrindavan. So he was serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally, taking Mahaprabhu's prasadam and bringing him, you know, whatever he needed, doing his laundry, washing up. So he was, for 4 months, had the association. That's a whole other story. But this is where he stayed. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say to confirm the case that, 2 things he said, that to convince Venkatabhatta that the highest perfection, what is it? Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. What am I looking for? That Swayam Krishna, he's the source of all other things. Okay, so what did he say? 2 things, other than Dravida. Oh, help me out. Are you all worshippers of Lord Narayan?
Why did Lakshmi have to perform austerities?
Why did Lakshmi have to perform? Why did she want to enter into the rasa dance? And why did she have to perform austerities to be allowed to come to the level of the gopis and participate in the Ras Leela? If everything is there in Lord Narayan, fully manifest, what's the need for, why did she have the desire to enter into the Ras Leela? And the second point, which is really a subset of the first one, what are 4 qualities that only Krishna has? Now we know there are 4 unique qualities that confirm Krishna had. What is it? There's 57 or 58 up to Lord Brahma, and then there's up to Shiva, then there's up to Vishnu. But there's 4 qualities unique to Krishna? Anyone know for one of them other than Dravida? Let's let them stew for a minute. Anybody else? Yes, tapas. Okay, Madhurya Ras. I guess we can accept that, but what? So, anyone else want to say one? Do you ever see pictures of baby Lord Vishnu? Anyone here ever seen a picture or a deity of baby Lord Vishnu? He's always an adult, but Krishna has especially sweet childhood pastimes. He manifests speaking Bhagavad Gita as if, fully grown, but he also has sweet childhood pastimes, unique. What's another one? He plays a flute that enchants all living entities. Even Lord Vishnu, he wanted to see Krishna. That story's there in Krishna book. So flute, childhood pastimes, other than anyone else? Well, yeah, unique beauty. Is that the... But then there's the other thing, intimate childhood pastimes, wonderful, intimate pastimes. You never, just like Krishna doesn't wear shoes. Even Lord Ram in the forest wears shoes made out of, leaves and bark, but Krishna goes barefoot. Intimate, sweet pastimes, all the way up to your point of conjugal love. So flute, childhood pastimes, irresistible beauty, even Lord Narayan's attracted to it, and intimate, sweet. You never find. There's a whole pastime of Krishna has a headache, and no one would give the dust. Only cure was, and immediately the gopis. You never find in Lord Vishnu's, it's always Aishwarya Bhav, awe and reverence of the worship of Lord Vishnu. What does it say in Chaitanya Charitamrita? Bhakti enfeebled by Aishwarya Bhav, awe and reverence, folded hands. But the cowherd boys are saying, what kind of big man are you? They beat him in a wrestling match and they have to carry, Krishna has to carry them on their shoulders. You don't find that anywhere else. Okay, next. We'll race through. So, see this? Here's some householder Brahmins bathing in Sri Rangam. This is a lady, nice pious lady with a gold earring. Now, what happened with the brahmacharis? Those of you in saffron, please note. The brahmacharis were squabbling with each other. Who was going to have what shelf in what room, and who took my dhoti, and simultaneously they were criticizing, those attached householders, and we're brahmacharis, and they're attached. So Sri Ramanujacharya wanted to teach them a lesson. So he said, we want to repair this part of the temple. You saw it's a huge complex. We need money. So please, I want you to go to this householder's house and steal the wife's gold. When she's asleep, you steal the gold and we'll sell it and we'll repair the temple. So they surrendered. They agreed. And Ramanujacharya told, but after you take their gold jewelry, you sit outside and you listen through the window, listen to their conversation. So they dutifully did it. And the lady is lying there on a nice mattress, whatever. And the lead brahmachari goes and takes one of her gold earrings. She rolls over. They're afraid she's going to wake up. They run out. And they're sitting outside the window because they were told to wait and listen to what they say. And the wife wakes up the husband and says, the brahmacharis were Ramanuja's disciples. They were here trying to steal my earring. And the husband immediately understood. He said, just see, they must want to do something important and they don't have any money and they have to steal. Why did you wake them up? wife said, no, 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 I didn't mean to wake him up. I wanted to roll over so he could get my other earring. You know, because one's on the pillow, you know, so she rolled over, here, take this one too, you know. So the brahmacharis could understand, just because they're in white cloth doesn't mean they're attached and not renounced. They're wonderful devotees, and who the hell do you think you are? So you have to be careful about pride. Next. So I think we're close to the end. Now Ramanujacharya, this is Jagannath Puri, another completely transcendental place. Now this is a place called Alarnath. It's 24 miles from Puri. Jagannath Puri, Lord Jagannath Mahaprabhu's place. Now, of course, we know that it was 1,000 years ago was Ramanujacharya, so before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was very strict, and if you see that the bathing ceremony of Balaji, Sri Venkateshwar in South India, it's under those priests all come from Ramanujacharya's line. It is unbelievably complex and opulent, and you know, so many ceremonies on top of ceremony. It's exactly on time. It's so strict. So, and Prabhupada liked it very much. He wrote in the guest book for Tirupati, for VIPs, you sign your name and you give a comment. Prabhupada wrote, and then his name, and then he wrote in comments, very spiritual. Prabhupada liked it. So, in Jagannath Puri, he visited, and you know, they're coming from sabaras, from forest dwellers, and they're kind of spontaneous in the way they do things for Lord Jagannath. And so Ramanujacharya, the great Paka, puja, acharya, said, no, 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 you have to do it this way, and you have to do it that way. And the king of Puri told the priest, you do whatever he says. And he tightened everything up and made it all standardized and not spontaneous. Everything has to be done at this time and this way and this priest. And really tightened the thing up. And on the night before they were to institute everything, Ramanujacharya goes to sleep. And when he wakes up in the morning, he's been thrown by Lord Jagannath all the way to Alarnath. He was thrown out of Puri 24 miles. And Lord Jagannath appeared to him and said, no, I don't want you going back to Jagannath Puri. I like the way they worship me. It's a particular mood for Jagannath Puri, and don't change it. Just stay out. Don't mess with my Leela. So that's a little flavor of Ramanujacharya. Okay, next. We're close to the end. Here's the Jagannath deities. These are to give you a flavor of Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra in Puri. They're on their carts on the Ratha Yatra, going out to their carts on Ratha Yatra. Next. So, and this is especially true for us in Mahaprabhu's movement. The Ramanujacharya's spiritual master they chant Om Namo Narayana, like we chant Hare Krishna. That's their cornerstone mantra. So he told them, now you just keep this for yourself. You keep it secret. Tell this to TM. Is it even still around? No? So he told them, don't give it to anybody else. Keep it secret. So he was chanting, and he became ecstatic. Ramanujacharya, chanting the mantra, Om Namo Narayana. So he actually went onto one of those Gopurams, called out to the people. He's a great acharya, everyone assembled, and he initiated them all into the chanting Om Namo Narayana. So his guru was very upset. I told you not to spread it. So he said, Ramanujacharya said, even I may go to hell for breaking your order. How could I let these people continue to suffer? I have this wonderful mantra, so powerful, so sweet. I have to distribute it. And his spiritual master embraced him with tears in his eyes. So that's how we should feel. What is it regularly we hear? People get the Japamala, they buy a book, they get Japamala, they hear the holy name. I don't know why we never thought of it. I think it comes from Jamuna, isn't it? Got the idea. So people all over are getting books, chanting japa, and they'll never be the same. They're finished. Okay, so next, I think we only have a couple more. So we're going to skip this one because we're out of time. So there's two takeaways that from this presentation and mentioned by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They were under the shelter of these great acharyas. Ramanujacharya. He's our great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. How many times back? And they care about the devotees. We're under their shelter. We can call on their mercy. They're not bound by time and space. And the other point, we have a deep responsibility to present them properly. Suppose people see us smoking a cigarette. There was a lady I knew, devotee. Her name was Sukha Sugari. She took up cigarette smoking. They call her Smoka Sugari. You know? I mean, what are people that they see us, you know, eating some karmi food, or they see us squabbling with each other, or, you know. We had a guy, and it happens. The mind is hard to control. He was chanting on, you know, in the Harinam party downtown, and two beautiful girls, material, walked by, and he was looking at the girls. Bam! Walked right into a lamppost because he was distracted, you know. So that was a wake-up call. So, you know, we have a duty to know the philosophy, to present it, to not keep it locked up in our own hand, you know, it's just for us. No. These are two takeaways. Okay, next. And that's it. Sri Ramanuja Ki Jai. Thank you very much. We ran a little over time, but Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hey, Govind.